Welcome back! It is day 8 of the Advent Calendar series here on MKE Beer Review. As always, I'm Josh.
Ross.
And we have our special guest with us. Finally back tonight is Mr. Tyler from Racine, and we've got Mr. Andy Lau joining us here on the channel again from last year. So for those of you that haven't been following, Ross, myself, and Tyler, we've all got the Three Cellars Advent Calendar. We're going to dive into that one here shortly. But Mr. Lau has joined us from Eau Claire to share his little 13 days of Christmas from one of our favorite breweries. So, Lau, you want to tell us a little bit about what you're going to share with the group tonight?
I'm going to share with you guys the first beer from the 13 Days of Christmas Advent Calendar from the Brewing Project up here in Eau Claire. As was featured last year in this series, I get 13 beers of Brewing Project vintage, and I have no idea what they're going to be. So I will be unwrapping them on the days I show up on the channel, and we'll see what kind of fun stuff I end up with.
Well, we got day one.
And we got day one. I had already unwrapped it, so I don't get to unbox it on the channel like I did last year. But we've got a Dare Mighty Things hazy IPA with Citra hops. So I think, and I didn't look this up, which I should have, that this was one of the first Dare Mighty Things that they came out with. And they've subsequently done a bunch of other stuff in the series with it and done a bunch of different things with it. So I don't think this was the original, but I think this was one of the first that came out.
Wow.
So I got my super cool little holiday glass here that came with the 13 Days of Christmas beer pack.
That's
nice.
so fun. I love that.
You got a smaller one last year, like a taster size, didn't you?
Yep. Yeah, it was. I think it was a little bit bigger than the taster, but it was like their tap room glass is what they included last time. And then this year they must have made some fancy new holiday glasses. So, I mean, we've got a pretty hazy looking IPA here, which is kind of what I expected. I've had, I think, this beer before in the past, or at least some of the Dare Mighty Things stuff. So we'll give it a try. Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Wait, I'm supposed to smell it first, aren't I?
Sniff it.
It does not smell like a Helles lager.
Sniff it before you swallow. That's the rule.
We've never said that.
I know.
As I always say.
As I always say, it's the rule now. It's the rule now.
Before you swallow.
That's good. That's very good. I don't remember this one, I guess, from having had it in the past or having seen it around in the past. I wonder if there's something different going on, but it just looks like it's a standard Dare Mighty Things. It's very smooth. It's got the Citra hops that you can kind of come through. Oh, it's got some stuff floating in it if you can kind of see it. It's pretty hazy. I don't know if this makes sense, but it's got a little bit more malt character than just the like citrus notes from the Citra hops that I think you usually get, which is kind of interesting. I'm not sure that's like 100% my favorite thing, but it's not making me upset.
How's the bitterness on it?
It's not very bitter. Like that, I feel like maybe this is just my palate, but I feel like with the hazy IPAs, that bitterness kind of gets muted down a little bit. And this one doesn't have much of that. So then you get a little bit of the like more sweetness kind of coming through than it usually maybe would in an IPA.
One of the things I really enjoy about Brewing Project's IPAs is that kind of malt forward sweetness. Like their IPAs tend to be fairly heavy, and
this one's definitely got heavy malt, a heavier mouthfeel too.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
But overall, it's really good. I guess I would kind of surprised that the Citra hops don't come through a little bit more, but I think it's really good.
Did you say it was a single hopped? Like it's just Citra?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least that's what I assume. It just says with Citra. And I think they usually, put all the hops that they're using in here.
Yeah, it's one thing I like about Brewing Project. They list out the ingredients they use on their cans. It's like there's no hiding behind what they're doing. There's everything.
Oh,
you got,
yeah.
so.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure some of the ones that'll pull out of the box later on here in the 13 days are going to have some crazy stuff in them like they did last year.
For sure.
You're sticking that on Untappd. Scale
Yeah.
1 to 5 before you stick it.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I got to stick it on the Untappd scale.
Yep.
I think I would say probably a 4.
Okay.
Solid
That's
start.
pretty good. It's a solid start.
Yeah, I like these. I like the series of beers from them. I think they're really good and they're kind of fun. And they like to play around with the Dear Mighty Things sort of idea.
They're definitely one of the breweries within the state that I think can get away with doing a pack like this where it's one brewery and doing it. And I like that they only do 13. They're not trying to go totally crazy like all 24 days. So
yeah,
it works well for them.
And it's a good start because we did not have this one in the pack last year. So I'm hoping we're not going to have any repeats.
Yeah.
Good. They got enough for them. They got a lot more than 13 or 26 beers. So
yeah.
Awesome. Well, Mr. Lau, thank you for sharing. We are going to jump into the Three Cellars Advent Calendar tonight. Now, Tyler and Ross, I'm sure already know what we're about to drink. I have no idea. So I'm going to crack here. I'm going to crack into the box behind me. This is going to be a surprise for me. I've been informed if the bottle, God, this thing is hard to open.
I've ripped mine to crap already.
Mine is starting to become very dilapidated here in the corner. All right.
I have tried so hard to keep mine together.
Yeah. Doing better than me. And I'm trying to do this all one-handed. So we are drinking the Frosted Sugar Cookie from Southern Tier. So Southern Tier is out of New York.
Interesting.
Actually, one of my favorite breweries out of New York. I've had a lot of really good stuff from Southern Tier in the past. So this is a standard Imperial Ale, 8.6%, but I have had this before.
What is standard about it?
I don't know. It's an Imperial Ale.
It's the Frosted Sugar Cookie Imperial Ale. It's
flavored like a sugar cookie. So you get to the adjunct later. Come on now, Ross. So I think this is going to pour out. I think this is going to pour out golden in color when we crack it. So let's pop the top on this thing. I'm going to pour it in my giant mug that I used for all my Hellas lagers last year.
Should have just poured all of them in at once. See if you could put 3 or 4 of them in there.
I could have. Yeah, a nice golden color to that. Very clear.
not
dissipated fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Vastly different.
Yeah.
So it looks tasty. Let's get a little nose on it.
Sniff before you swallow.
Sniff before.
That's what I've always
before
said.
You swallow. And then you got to stick it on Untappd.
So that kind of like milk sugar sweetness really comes out on the nose. That's at least what I'm getting. That frosted note that they're talking about in the title is really what I'm picking up on the nose.
Yeah, it smells like frosting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's a good amount of vanilla on it. It almost gives me so it's a cookie, but that malt, aromatic, almost gives me like a cake vibe.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are picking up on like a vanilla cakey kind of malt.
Yeah.
Yep. Definitely.
I mean, it smells how it's supposed to smell. I mean, that's a good start for
Sure.
it. So.
Oh, yeah.
Almost kind of like, have you ever had one of those Christmas tree cakes from Little Debbie? There's like a little bit of that going on in here.
Is that a good thing?
Yeah.
I was going to say, I don't know. Should you be happy with that one?
I think it's a good thing. Pretty darn good.
All right.
All right, gentlemen. Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay.
So it's real back end flavor. Like I'm not getting a lot up front. but that sweet vanilla-ness kind of comes through all in the back end. It's not as overpowering as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like maybe a little too sweet based on what I was getting on the palate. I think it's like something's kind of subduing it a little bit in a very good way. It kind of makes a nice, even flavor profile throughout the kind of back end. That's weird.
It's pretty tame all the way through. I mean, you get kind of that. I got to admit, I'm not a big fan of the cookie flavor to this. Like, it tastes like unnatural, almost like very fake. Like they were trying to make it taste this way, but there's not a lot of natural characters to it. I still think it's okay. It tastes all right. I get where they're going with it, but it's mostly just kind of that fake sugar cookie-ish note that I get like right at the front end, and it just kind of lingers through the back. Nothing all that special to this for me from Southern Tier. I expect more from them, to be completely honest. My take.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad that you said it before I did, but that was literally what I was going to say is you definitely get like vanilla up front, but then as you go to swallow in the finish, it kind of gives you, I don't know if I would go as far as saying chemically, but definitely artificial. And then all of a sudden you get that, alcohol finish on it that kind of just makes it not sit well and just lingers for a while, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's not bad, but it's just a factor. It's not that creamy vanilla that you're looking for. It's got a little bit of a tinge to it, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Not my favorite Christmas beer in the box so far. Drinkable, definitely fits the season, absolutely. But I think there's better options out there if you're looking for a Christmas beer, to be completely honest, my opinion.
Being an Imperial Ale is an interesting decision on this. One thing Southern Tier does really well with kind of their dessert beers is making them stouts. I've had several from them with their stouts I really enjoy. Being an Imperial Ale, I think, was a odd choice. I'm not sure what it adds, or what the thought process was not doing this as a stout and doing it as an ale, like the Imperial Ale style. I understand stouts are ales, but
my assumption, because I thought the same thing. I'm like, oh, okay, Imperial Ale is kind of just like a higher alcohol base beer. My guess is that a sugar cookie is white, it's pale. If you went stout, I mean, unless you're having a burned sugar cookie, it's not going to be dark. So that's my assumption is the color aspect of in the glass, matches what we're looking for. So
white stout would have been interesting then. Put on that route.
That was interesting.
I think that could have played nice. How different is a white stout than an Imperial Ale? I mean, I'm guessing it's just the grain bill and what malts you're adding, right? I mean,
yeah, you'd probably just get a little bit more roastiness.
Yeah,
a little more chocolate flavor, coffee flavor,
which I think would have fit this nicely, to be honest.
I don't know about you, but I take sugar cookies, I dunk them in coffee. That's how I eat it. So that actually would have played perfectly.
There you go.
All right, fair enough. So Tyler, you're rating this one on Untappd. Got to give it a rating. What are you putting it at?
So I like the style, the idea, the fact it's festive. I like the upfront flavor. Like I said, there's just aspects to it that as you go throughout that tasting experience kind of, I don't know, make you start to think a little bit more, and it's not the greatest finish. So I'll probably put this one at a 3.5. Is it good? Yes. Would I have it again? Sure. Would I buy it again? I don't know. So yeah, I'd say a 3.5. It's enjoyable, but it's not the best Christmas style beer out there, like you mentioned. So that's kind of my take on it, I guess.
Fair enough. Ross?
Pretty much everything. I'm kind of in line with what Tyler said, and I liked it more the first couple of sips I had. And I think the last couple of sips I've had, I'm kind of liking it less and less as I go. I'm probably going to stick this at about a 3, just because I do like this Tyler said, I do like the vanilla. And like what he said, there's something off. And I just wish they would have gone something different than Imperial Ale. I think the vanilla would have played real well with the stout style, and I think it would have just been a better beer. I think the Imperial Ale just kind of is throwing me off a bit. So I'll say 3.
All right. I'm going to go 3 as well. I think 3 is a fair score for this. You know, we've had some decent beers in this box. I love how festive it's been. I love this advent calendar just because it's so different. And it's just unique. Every single day is a whole totally different experience. So very, very cool. I like the contribution to the box, but I think there's better choices out there. And if you're out looking for a Christmas beer to have, you can find something better than this, people. You absolutely can. It's cool. It's cool sounding. It's okay, but you can find yourself something better, I think, than this one. So they can't all be winners, as we've said before. As I always say.
Full of quotes. Full of quotes.
So
Yes.
too many.
So thanks for checking out the channel. Thanks for watching. We are on day 8. Tomorrow is day 9. We are quickly making our way to Christmas Eve and rocking our way through the Three Cellars Advent Calendar. And Mr. Lau is joining us to make it through the 13 days of Christmas from the Brewing Project. So stick around. A lot more where this came from. And thank you for watching.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Later.